This is Akashwani. Time for a weekly program, Our Guest. I hand over the mic to the show host, Nitish Arora, for the same.
Hello and good morning to all the listeners of Akashwani. And we have in our studios short filmmaker Jasmine Kaur Roy, with her film Ravi being selected for the Habitat Film Festival. We caught up with her at the festival and invited her in our guest. Planned for only one episode, this interesting conversation got spilled over to second episode, so we failed to wrap up this engaging conversation in just one episode. So here I am once again with Jasmine. Time to thank our listeners for a great response to part 1, which was aired on 22nd of May. Today we are going to talk about her latest film Ravi, which has been screened at more than 10 international film festivals and has won significant awards and other dimensions of her cinema and personality. Jasmine is national award-winning filmmaker, largely into producing short films and documentaries. A Film and Television Institute of India alumna, her short film Sanj and Amoli won the prestigious national award in 2004 and 2018 respectively. Jasmine, once again, welcome to this program.
Thank you so much.
We were talking about short films. And last time when we were talking about it, we spoke about how short films are different from the reels. Reels is something new which has come, and social media platform is available to everybody who wants to express himself using reels. You said that short films can be a good launching platform for a full-length documentary film, showcasing your talent, showcasing your vision. Can we say the same about the reels? All those youngsters who are producing those reels, can they from reels graduate to making short films and then perhaps become full-fledged?
Of course, why not? I think honestly, I'm not one of those purist filmmakers who only who will harp on nostalgia, who has learnt on film is the only filmmaker. I think because I think as a generation, my generation also, and as filmmakers, we need to be open and we need to accept that we are living in very, very dramatic times and very, very challenging times.
Creative times also.
Creative times. And also sometimes a young 19-year-old kid might make something so magical and beautiful that I may not even be able to think about. So I think, and this is the medium that they have found themselves, because they have grown up in a different generation and they've grown up with different tools. So that is their form of expression. They might find the idea of sitting through a 30-minute documentary really boring, and they may not have the patience for that. So that is the best and we really don't know where times are going to be taking us, and also
is the time running short for full feature films? Because earlier on the full feature films were 3 hours long, mandatory compulsorily. Yeah. Now you have feature films which are like an hour or 30 minutes.
Yes,
because already
I think because we had earlier if we were to talk about Hindi cinema also, the older films, I was in fact surfing through one of the channels yesterday. So all lengths I was looking at was 226, 230, 3 hours, 10 minutes. And there was a time where the lengths were kind of fixed at 210, they will not go beyond. But now you have the freedom to even make a very young filmmaker from Darbhanga, Achal Mishra. He's made his feature film, which is 50 minutes long. I think it's made in Maithili. The film is called Dhui. A very beautiful film. It's available on one of the streaming platforms again. So it's a 56 because he felt possibly that the story can be told best in this length. There is no need to stretch it. Earlier, I think there were compulsions of putting, X number of songs in it, and, and you need to have a comedy track, you need to have a fight sequence, and all of those things, which were at those times, I think they were the commercial requirements as per, the audience expectation also. I think now that limitation is no more there. And
you wanted to have maximum out of the 60 rupees ticket, but now I think the tickets have gone costlier and the cinema has shortened in length.
Exactly. I think that also could be the reason. But yes, I think also it has to do with the times that we are in, with lesser patience.
Nobody is having that much of time because the test match cricket is over. Even now a one-day cricket match is something that
nobody earlier thought 2020 would work, but look at it now where we are with that format.
So it's the time of 2020, exciting times. Yes. But 2020 is something which is making lot of money. Let's now come to the economics of this whole thing. How much budget is required for a short filmmaker, and any aspiring short filmmaker? Do he necessarily needs to have a training in an institution, or you can be an independent short filmmaker without any training schools behind you?
See, if you have a film school training, it's very good. But if you don't, then I don't think it's an impediment to you becoming a filmmaker. A lot of filmmakers out there are not film school graduates. They have learnt on the job. And today, the advantage that today's kids have is internet. So many YouTube channels are there. So many filmmaking tools are available out there to them to learn the craft. So once you get that, and if you're talking, see, even a short film can be made in crores of rupees also, and it can even be made in a couple of thousands. But if you want to make a decent film, I think initially the way to go about it is to make it with friends and co-collaborators, who generally, that's how generally it happens, and you're doing it with favors from everybody. You are doing some favors, they are doing some favors, and you're all creating something creative. You're trying to make something creative and make a film from which you can kind of go ahead. So I don't think budgets are an impediment. If you're starting off as an aspiring filmmaker, I don't think... And
equipment, basic equipments like a good even mobile camera is sufficient and good enough. I think it's perfectly.
You need to have a story. Whatever technology might be available, you can have a camera which might cost you $1 lakh a day, and still your film might really bomb at the box office. We have seen all those examples. But I think the real magic is in the script. If you have the story, if you have the script correct, and I think then nothing will really stop you from making a good film. This
is the point where I should bring in your latest short film, Ravi. Tell us about Ravi. How did this came about? And it was a lovely movie. I saw it. And the craft of a cinematographer, the craft of storytelling, everything was there. It was lovely. Tell us about it.
So Ravi was born out of the circumstances that we were kind of stuck in during the pandemic. My mother was here alone in Delhi. I live in Bombay. So both me and my partner, he's also a filmmaker. We make films together. So both of us had come in here to be with her at that point of time. And I saw my mother struggling with the whole confinement thing. She felt that she was all alone and she was caught up in a space where she couldn't go out anywhere. And like all of us, she was mentally, she was suffering. So it was a very, very low point for her. So during that time, we had nothing to do. So we thought that, okay, let's, why not make a film about something, let's think of something and make a short film. And that's when the whole idea of my grandfather, who was part of the Indian Army and he was part of the Indo-Pak War of 65. He had been taken prisoner of war in Pakistan, and he used to write letters to my mother during that particular time. So I kind of thought that I should bridge these two ideas, the whole idea of what confinement is and what suffering and pain is. What does it do to a person? So what is it doing to my mother, who's ultimately living in her own home? She has all the facilities, her food is coming to her, and she's safe in her home. So is she confined literally, or is she free? And here was my grandfather caught in a Pakistani jail as a prisoner of war with zero freedom. So which one is confinement? So the whole idea of pain, confinement, suffering, and how relative these ideas are. So that's why how I thought I will thread it. So I wrote the script, and then my mother was the only one who was there. I asked her, will you be able to act? So she said, yeah. So, and it turned out
and
that...
she debuted as an actress at what age?
75.
75. So, no age is good or bad enough to start.
No age is, I think... like somebody said yesterday, the government retires you at 60, but then life begins at
75,
Sure. So Yeah.
So the feeling was universal, and this movie is making rounds of festivals all over the world. How was this received by the audience?
So we were a little. For me, it's a very personal story. So I was very emotional. So when you're writing that and when you're making that, especially if it comes from your own life, you're very close to the subject and you're not able to really judge it. So and obviously, like my husband who's produced the film, and he's also shot the film, he's the cinematographer, so we obviously discussed the thing. He had his reservations. He did not think that it would work, so because he thought that it's too personal for me, and he had his reservations that the audience may not be able to relate to the whole idea. But then he also was pleasantly surprised that that he was wrong. And but he told me that you go with your conviction. If it works, then it'll be great. So luckily people were able to connect with the idea and they were able to relate. So it felt very good that it debuted at the New York Indian Film Festival, and it's been to almost every country, and it's played at 3-4 festivals in Canada, in Toronto, and it's won some awards also. So fingers crossed, it's been doing pretty well.
Normally the introduction comes first, but here I would like to close the bracket, to let the people know that whom I was talking to, because it was such an interesting subject that we have covered. We started from short film, and we already made a documentary of it, I guess. It's a feature film now. Tell us more about you. How did you come into filmmaking, and all those achievements in the years which are like making your madness go further?
I think the madness is a little settling down now, I think, with age. But yeah, I graduated from LSR in Delhi, and I graduated in political science honors. And after that, I went to the Film Institute in Pune, FTI. And I studied film direction at FTI. So my graduation film, it won me my national award. My first national award I got for my graduation film called Sanj. It's available on YouTube also. So that felt really good, because I was all of 25, and I received the award from the president. So it was a big high for me. So from then on, the journey started, and I did a lot of work for the international organizations like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, UNICEF, UNESCO, all of these, UN Women South Asia. So, and I've worked on mainly development communication subjects mainly. And then we have also a production house called Wanderlust Films, which me and my husband Avinash, we both of us run it. And we've been doing a lot of films under that. Our second national award came with our documentary called Amoli, which was about child sex trafficking. So wherein we traced the entire root of the problem, and the entire where it leads to, and where it comes from, and where the girls are taken from. So we shot across the Indo-Nepal borders, Indo-Bangladesh borders, and all of that. So that was a very very moving and kind of an emotional film personally also to do.
Friends, in fact there is so much to talk about, and I understand that anybody who is listening to it must really be interested in having more, and I promise you that we'll come back with more, maybe in a different format. Jasmine, thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you so much, Nitish. It was really, really great being here with you.
Thank you.
So friends, this is time to wrap up part 2 of an engaging conversation with short filmmaker Jasmine Kaur.
In this 2 parts conversation, we were talking about short films. From IG reels to professionally produced shorts, today the opportunities are endless, and shorter attention span has ensured that the short film format is here to stay. The journey of cinema has truly come a full circle.
We will continue to keep on bringing more such inspiring personalities in this show. Have a nice day ahead.
You were listening to the weekly program Our Guest, that is broadcast every Monday at 9:15 a.m. Don't forget to tune in next week, same day, same time and same frequency for more on Our Guest. Have a nice day.